Right now at 6, crews work to restore power in parts of Lamar after an EF0 tornado.
And we've got a few isolated showers out there this morning. Otherwise, warm temperatures and mostly cloudy skies. A look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Joplin City Council has approved the demolition of the old Freeman Hospital. We'll see what the next steps are.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Wednesday. It's April the 23rd, halfway through this work week and more now than halfway through the month of April.
Yes.
It's been a bit of a wild April in the weather department for sure this month, unfortunately for folks out there. And regrettably, we're getting into the peak of severe weather season.
Right.
The last 2 events we've had are just kind of at that beginning stage. And we're not quite done with severe weather season yet, so just be prepared as we roll into May. Today, though, not a lot to worry about, which is good. We have a few isolated showers out there, which we'll show you in a minute. But first, we'll start with that look. There it is, downtown Pittsburgh. Right now, we do have mostly cloudy to just straight up cloudy skies across the areas we start our day. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin is looking pretty good as well this morning. And as we take a look onto the Skywatch Storm Tracker, there's those isolated showers up in our northern counties. We've had some showers. We even had a couple of thunderstorms out to the west of Pittsburgh, close to Girard. They raced off to the north near Kansas City. They're gone. These storms here, they're not even storms anymore. It's just some light showers, and any activity we've had is really just kind of fizzling out. We could get an isolated pop-up shower or storm throughout the day today, but I do believe the majority of us will be dry. It won't be until late this evening into the overnight hours I will start to see some thunderstorm chances in our western counties, and that's also where we have a risk for some low hail risk, so maybe some small hail out there and perhaps some gusty winds if we get a couple of stronger storms, but that'll be confined out into our western counties. All right, temperatures right now fairly mild this morning. We're sitting at 61 in Joplin, 59 in Pittsburgh. You can see at sunrise from MoDOT camera at 32nd in range line, looking pretty good. Temperatures across the region also pretty good. Upper 50s and low 60s across the region. Not a bad start to the day at all. So kids getting on the bus again in our northern counties, if those little showers can try and hold together, maybe a shower, a little rumble of thunder. Upper 50s again, otherwise just mostly cloudy. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Winds remain the same into the afternoon. Temperatures, of course, warm up. Upper 70s, that's where our highs are headed. Upper 70s, maybe some low 80s in our southern counties with those mostly cloudy skies across the area, and maybe some partly cloudy skies from time to time. We do have, again, the severe threat as we roll into next week, and we've got off and on thunderstorm chances over the next several days. We'll go over all those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. The Lamar, Missouri community is working to pick up the pieces after a tornado swept through on Easter Sunday. The EF0 tornado left some residents with broken tree limbs in their yard and without power. The city administrator of Lamar says some of the main issues are damage to homes and down power poles. Now, he said yesterday crews were working to restore power to residents.
Coordinating our resources, both managing volunteers, Salvation Army, Red Cross, and our electric crews that have come in to assist us. That's just been a challenge that we've dealt with and tried to organize it the best we can.
Well, the city administrator says the city plans to evaluate how the tornado aftermath was handled so they can make improvements as needed if another tornado strikes. The National Weather Service has also confirmed that a tornado produced the damage this weekend in Jasper County. The NWS says the EF1 tornado touched down just north of Galena, causing damage to multiple trees and roofs before crossing the Missouri border west of Belleville. Now, it continued through Carl Junction before lifting near the intersection of County Road 210 and H Highway. Cleanup efforts continue there as well. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, plans are underway for the development of affordable housing at the site of the old Freeman Hospital in Joplin. Now, this comes after City Council approved the demolition of the building. The development will be a partnership between city staff, the Economic Security Corporation, and Habitat for Humanity through their Joplin Economic Housing Development Initiative, known as JEDI. Now, there are already plans for what they want to build, with housing being targeted for veterans and seniors.
We would like to build 3 two-story duplexes at the location. These would be rentals under JEDI. We've built one at 311 North Joplin here recently in partnership with Economic Security. We have a good relationship with them, and me and Ryan are talking all the time about what we can do together to help improve the community.
Well, city staff say they don't yet have any sort of timeline for when the demolition will begin. They plan to begin meetings with contractors soon. Well, honoring those who dedicate their lives to serving others. Last night, the South Joplin VFW Post 5293 honored the parents of fallen firefighter Tucker Berry with a special plaque. Berry lost his life last October from injuries sustained in a golf cart accident while off duty. Berry served as a Reddings Mill firefighter. He volunteered for Lockwood Fire and was also a Dade County first responder.
Well, you know, we're proud of everything he accomplished. And this is very special. I mean, it's very special, you know, to receive something like this from an organization like the VFW.
Berry planned to continue serving others as he was studying to eventually become an attorney. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Boeing has agreed to sell parts of its aviation digital software business for over $10 billion. Plus, Elon Musk announces that he is stepping back from government work. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Glenwood Park, located in Parsons, Kansas. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, 20 years ago today, history was made. The very first YouTube video was uploaded. Now, called Me at the Zoo, the 19-second clip features YouTube co-founder Javid Carmen in front of an elephant exhibit. Now, he was 25 years old at the time. Carmen was one of the company's 3 founders, all of whom previously worked at PayPal. Now, YouTube was a very fast success. Just 18 months later, it would be sold to Google for $1.65 billion worth of stock, and all of that happened when you had to watch on a computer screen. The iPhone was still several months away from launching. Well, get your Temu and Shein orders in now before the Chinese e-commerce sites raise prices. The companies recently issued notices. They are said to make price adjustments starting April 25th. Now, it's due to President Donald Trump's recent tariffs imposed on goods from China. China is the largest clothing importer to the United States, so these tariffs will most likely raise the cost of most clothing, according to trade policy experts and economists. Well, Boeing has landed a deal to sell portions of its aviation software business. Tuesday, the company announced the more than $10.5 billion deal with Thoma Bravo. The agreement includes selling digital tools and services for aviation operations, like a flight planning provider and a navigation app. Boeing is trying to cut costs and raise money as the Belgrade plane maker continues to struggle after several notable incidents involving its aircraft in recent years. Now, the deal is expected to close by the end of the year. Elon Musk says he'll significantly scale back from his work with the Department of Government Efficiency next month to focus on his car company. The announcement after a disappointing earnings report for Tesla. Meanwhile, President Trump is dialing back his rhetoric on Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Jared Hill has the latest.
President Donald Trump projected confidence in his trade talks late Tuesday.
Everybody wants to have involvement with the United States.
Trade negotiations continue with individual countries, including in India, where Vice President Vance met with the Prime Minister.
Global trade has become fundamentally imbalanced. The American taxpayer and the American nation has become the piggy bank for the entire world.
This as tariff uncertainty has sent financial markets on a roller coaster. But stock futures jumped Wednesday. Investors reacting as President Trump softened his rhetoric on Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates.
Thursday, the president posted on social media, Powell's termination cannot come fast enough after the Fed chair warned the president's tariffs would likely lead to stagflation. A major shakeup is in the works at the president's Department of Government Efficiency. Elon Musk announced Tuesday he'll pull back from Doge to focus on Tesla.
So I think I'll continue to spend, a day or two per week on government matters for as long as the president would like me to do so.
The EV company's latest earnings showed profits dropped 71% in the first 3 months of the year. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, more than 200 college presidents and other officials signed a letter to the White House in protest of what they call unprecedented government overreach and political interference in higher education. Now, this comes after Harvard University sued the Trump administration for freezing billions in grants for not agreeing to implement certain reforms. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, still got those showers in our far northern counties up there, so we are talking at this point really just Coffee and Anderson, trying to hold on. Otherwise, we are mostly cloudy starting the morning. We'll have a mix of mostly to partly cloudy skies through the day. We'll go over your forecast with you here in a few more minutes on the KOAM Morning News.
Altoona Elementary School filled their gymnasium with lots of excitement as one of the school's teachers is being honored for her work in the classroom. Kim Ledholm shares there's some pretty special people helping her celebrate.
Elena Degnan. It's a recognition Elena Degnan wasn't expecting.
I had no clue what was coming. They definitely kept a good secret.
Being honored with the Brewers Grand Slam Teacher Award.
We want to honor teachers first and foremost. Teachers are modeling the future leaders, future baseball fans, future baseball players.
My goal every day is to make every student feel loved and valued no matter what their life is like outside of school.
And what's an event with the Brewers without the fan favorite who may not always fit but certainly knows how to add a bit of spice.
You can get jaded sort of being an adult and working in an adult world when you see kids this age who are just enthusiastic, who are having fun, who love the sausages, who love their teacher. It's great. I mean, these are bonds that they're going to be building forever.
So while Altoona Elementary School can honor one of their own, they can also remind everyone in the room to have a little bit of fun. In a race for the ages.
It's just fun to see the enthusiasm, the youthful energy, the sort of authentic excitement that they have for things like this. So it brings out the little kid in everybody.
In the record book, it goes down as a win for the Italian sausage. But the day was a home run for whichever team you were rooting for.
What a fun day at school. Now let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a pretty decent start to the day. Temperature's quite mild out there. Got a lot of clouds, and that's going to be the case through the day. We do have some isolated thunderstorm chances through today, and we're watching severe weather potential next week. Details when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up on 621 on this Wednesday morning, Skywatch Storm Tracker. Not much to track. We have these showers in Anderson and Coffee County. That's about it. They're not giving up the ghost just yet, but they're not really doing much. We did have some lightning associated with these storms earlier, but as you can see, that's kind of since faded out. We've had other showers. We even had some rumbles of thunder this morning that pushed off around KC. They're long gone as well. And so I think we're going to be dry for most of today, but overnight tonight in our western counties, we do have a low risk for maybe some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds out there with some strong storms that'll be possible late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Now, through the day today, we could get an isolated pop-up storm or two really anywhere, but we're not really looking at anything widespread. And as I mentioned, the majority of us are going to remain dry. Now, here we go in the late evening and overnight. We start to get those showers and thunderstorms. And again, right in that zone where we have that lower risk for some strong, potentially low-grade severe thunderstorms. And these will continue through early Thursday morning. Now, we could again get an isolated storm or two outside of that zone overnight, but the better chances for organized activity will be into our western counties. However, tomorrow, all of us, as we head into the afternoon, are going to start to get in on some additional shower and thunderstorm chances, at least more widespread chances for scattered showers and storms. No severe weather is expected with that activity, but a few more of us will see some rain as we head into Thursday afternoon. Friday morning, a few isolated showers, couple of rumbles of thunder will be possible out there. Otherwise, we'll dry out. Most of Friday's not bad. A few pop-up storms will be possible later into the evening hours, and then it will be heading into the weekend. We'll have more scattered storm chances, and then next week, severe threats. So again, overnight tonight, a low risk in our western counties. Another low risk tomorrow, but as you can see, it's very limited, and even more so, we're just going with scattered storms Friday, which will be very sparse, but there's a low risk that just barely clips southwestern Washington County. Sunrise looks beautiful this morning with those clouds out there. It's a great start to the day. Again, a couple isolated shower storms in our northern counties. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, low 60s to start, low 70s by 11 this morning. An isolated shower storm possible today. Otherwise, a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies going into the upper 70s, maybe the low 80s here and there, with southeast winds at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Again, same through the evening. Few storms in our western counties overnight tonight, back into the upper 50s, maybe some low 60s. Through the weekend, as I mentioned as well, some isolated to widely scattered showers and storms out there. It is Monday late evening and into the overnight hours that we want to watch very closely, because that's when we see our thunderstorm chances pick up a bit more, and it's when we see our severe threat begin to pick up. Now, initially, you can see these storms as they develop, they don't really move much, at least not on the future track. We go into Tuesday morning, a few lingering showers and storms, and then we'll get additional development late Tuesday morning into the afternoon hours right along this boundary, and some of those could be strong to severe as well. And they'll last through the late evening hours on Tuesday and should be exiting early Wednesday morning. So that said, our Monday severe risk has been expanded. It now encompasses almost the entire area in that possible zone. Remember what happens in those possible zones. Let's say this is exactly what sets up. We get that low risk that goes on either side of it, and then we end up with that elevated risk in the zone that is currently possible. So we want to keep an eye on that, but our severe threat continues into Tuesday. That threat begins to shift off to the east, but again, with those Tuesday evening or afternoon and evening storms, another round of strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible. So this is your heads up now. We're seeing it. The computers are seeing it. You want to make sure you're just prepared for those thunderstorms. All right, 70s all the way into at least Sunday, our scattered storm chances, and then Monday, Tuesday, the other side of this, look at that. We're going back into the low 80s across the area. We'll have those thunderstorm chances. They'll wrap up by Wednesday. A little cooler next Thursday, and then back to about 70 by next Friday. That's a check of your forecast. Now we're going to send over to Elise with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, micro nanoplastics or microscopic bits of plastic are building up in people who have plaque in the blood vessels in their neck. Now, according to a study from the American Heart Association, people with the fatty neck arteries can have more than 50 times the amount of micro nanoplastics than those with arteries free from plaque buildup. A previous study found people with this issue are significantly more likely to die or to have a non-fatal heart attack or stroke. Well, just an extra 15 minutes of sleep can help adolescents' brain development. Now, a study published in Cell reports found 11 and 12-year-olds who slept an average of 7 hours and 25 minutes performed better at cognitive tasks than those who got 7 hours and 10 minutes of shut-eye. Researchers point out the recommended amount of sleep is at least 8 hours. Well, family and friends who care for someone with dementia are more likely to be physically aggressive or neglectful if they regularly drink an excessive amount of alcohol. University of Texas health researchers found any alcohol use also led to greater odds of poor outcomes, including grabbing, biting, yelling, and not helping the dementia patient with daily hygiene.
It's a moment that's years in the making. we need to make sure that the performance characteristics of that test meet our standards and have high quality.
Research scientist Sonia Laulu has been working with the team at ARUP Laboratories to offer a test that detects Alzheimer's disease pathology.
Amyloid PET imaging and then, CSF.
That excludes those invasive features.
A lot of people don't want to go to the doctor and have to give a spinal tap to have a sample that is sent to the laboratory.
With the newly launched p-tau 217 blood test,
they can just go and get a simple blood draw and have that sent in.
It makes seeing the signs potentially much simpler.
I think she was in her 70s when they started noticing the cognitive decline.
The project is one that Laulu holds close to her heart.
I'll never forget when I went to go visit her in Hawaii and I looked at her face and she didn't know who I was.
Her paternal grandmother was among millions of Americans who have suffered with Alzheimer's. So in her mind,
every sample is a person.
While this is a big step forward when it comes to detection, these experts also say it's just one of several you should take when it comes to risk reduction.
Are you sleeping 8 hours a night? How are you eating? What are you doing? Are you staying socially active? Are you physically active?
The test is designed for those age 60 and older. Jeremy Cunningham with the Utah chapter of the Alzheimer's Association notes they can be combined with new FDA-approved treatments.
And it's really important to work with your doctor to figure out a solution for your health.
They're advancements which give them hope for the future of fighting this disease.
And one of the ways that it impacts the state so deeply is we have an aging population.
And they give them the chance to better support that population, no matter what their struggle may be.
To determine, is it Alzheimer's or could it be another disease that's causing memory loss, is phenomenal.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. All right, now at 6:30, Pitt State's first AI symposium draws educators and professionals to discuss the potential impacts.
And we've got a beautiful sunrise out there this morning with these mostly cloudy skies, a couple of isolated showers. We'll look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Crowder College hosts its annual used book sale with proceeds supporting library programs and events.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Wednesday. It is April the 23rd. And boy, what a Wednesday.
What a Wednesday indeed.
Oh, some of the behind the scenes stuff. It's a good day, though. It's a good day.
Yeah.
We're solving problems. We are cool people like that. We solve problems.
Solving problems.
Or sometimes causing
sometimes
problems.
Causing them. Yes, yes.
But then we try and solve them afterwards. Outside of that, though, got a really pretty start to the day. The sunrise this morning looks amazing. You saw it from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. This is how it looks from downtown Pittsburgh at 4th and Broadway. Again, just with the mostly cloudy skies, we're just getting those nice colors, nice blending of the light there, and you can see it does look pretty darn decent. Taking a look at the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline in Joplin, and you can see it as well is looking pretty good this morning. And as we take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, you can also see those showers, man, they just don't want to give up. They're not doing much anymore, but they just don't seem to want to let go up around Anderson, Coffee County. So we'll keep an eye on them. Again, they are dying. Most of what we saw, we even had some thunderstorms early this morning that tracked through, and they are also dead and gone. And these ones continue to fall apart, but they're just trying to keep a little more going there if they can. All right, on to the future track. Into the afternoon we go. We're looking at mostly cloudy and occasionally partly cloudy skies. An isolated pop-up shower or storm will be possible anywhere in the area, but most of us will remain dry. It won't be until late tonight into the overnight. And we do get some thunderstorm chances in our western counties, and some of those could be strong out there with some small hail and gusty winds, and that's our primary concern with any of those stronger storms overnight tonight. Quick look at those temperatures: 61 Joplin, 59 in Pittsburgh, and that's where we're starting the day, into the upper 50s and low 60s across the majority of the region. So again, it's not a bad start today, a little above normal though, but pretty decent otherwise. So kids getting on the bus, again, isolated shower storm in our northern counties will be possible. I think majority of us will be dry. Upper 50s, southeast winds 5 to 10. Those winds continue continue into the afternoon, and we'll be right around 79 when the bus brings them home. That's where highs are headed, upper 70s, and maybe even some low 80s in our southern counties. We do have additional storm chances through the weekend into next week, and unfortunately next week we are still looking at a possible severe weather event. We'll take a full look at your forecast, go over those details here in a few more minutes. Lisa?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the Sunflower State just announced it has a plan for Work Zone Safety Awareness Week. Kansas Work Zone Safe is a free online driving course aimed at teaching new drivers how to safely navigate through work zones. The course will continue information about safe behaviors, laws, and situations drivers may encounter in work zones. You can find more information about the course on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. As the influence of artificial intelligence continues to shape the world around us, Pitt State hosts its first ever symposium to address the potential impacts in the classroom and the workforce. AI in academia and the workforce, exploring the impacts of implications, featured panelists from a variety of disciplines to discuss the evolving role of AI in education, research, and other professional fields.
Actually have a simulator that we are able to use AI. He's programmed with AI, and so we can kind of give him like a story. We can give him a personality, and then the students will come in and they will start interviewing him, and he will just come up with his own answers.
Attendees could participate in a Q&A session following the panel discussion. Crowder College opened a new chapter on its annual used book sale yesterday. The college's Lee Library director says all types of books are up for sale, including children's books and hardcover fiction. Now, funds from the sale help the Friends of the Library purchase equipment, books, book lecture speakers, and special events throughout the year.
I love that the community comes together. We've got some amazing donations from our community. It's so nice to see our community come in to volunteer for the book sale too, and to help us. It's just overwhelming on how much our community really supports Crowder and our library.
The event is open to the public as well as campus community. Now, in case you missed yesterday's chapter, the event runs for 2 more days. Just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com for more information. Well, Missouri Southern took the lead in Going Green, celebrating Earth Day with a special focus on sustainability. The university welcomed local middle and high school students to discuss ways to make daily living more eco-friendly. Organizers say events like this are a critical reminder that everyone has a role to play in making the environment a healthier, more livable place. And the annual First Thursday Art Walk in Joplin returns. The event features works from some of the area's finest artists, as well as good food and good music, all hosted by a number of venues in historic downtown Joplin. Now, this is footage from previous First Thursday Art Walks. If you're interested, the 18th annual event takes place May 1st from 5:30 to 8:30. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Another major warning about a U.S. economic slowdown as the IMF weighs in on the impact of Trump's trade policies. And we have a warm and cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Glenwood Park, located in Parsons, Kansas. In Consumer Watch this morning, President Donald Trump's exorbitant Chinese tariffs are still causing problems from Wall Street to Main Street. Monday, CEOs from several major retailers went to the White House to lay out the impact the levies will have on their customers. Rebecca Castor has the details.
President Trump's tariffs may not be impacting store prices just yet. But unless his aggressive tax on Chinese goods is lifted, it's likely only a matter of time before shoppers start to notice.
I'm hoping that the prices don't go too high because I am trying to afford as much as I can.
CEOs from Target, Walmart, and Home Depot met with the president at the White House Monday to discuss the possible impact on their businesses. Very few details were shared, but each exec called the meeting productive. Home Depot's former CEO, though, is warning it's going to take time for retailers to reshore production.
The number of components and products that come into Home Depot, Target, Lowe's is overwhelming number, and it's going to take a while to reverse something that's been on for this globalization for maybe 2 decades or more.
But the White House is pressing on with trade negotiations. Sharing its economic team is meeting with 34 countries this week.
We are moving at Trump speed to ensure these deals are made on behalf of the American worker and the American people.
Vice President J.D. Vance met with India's Prime Minister Monday, where the two agreed to the terms of reference for a trade deal.
It sets a roadmap toward a final deal between our nations.
The Trump administration also says the current standoff with China is unsustainable and the ball is moving in the right direction for a trade deal.
Well, another major organization is predicting a U.S. economic slowdown this year due to President Donald Trump's trade policies. This time it's the International Monetary Fund. Now, the IMF now projects the U.S. economy will grow 1.8% in 2025, down 0.9% from their January forecast. The organization has also downgraded its global economic growth projection to 2.8%, down from 3.3% in January. And attention, cheesecake lovers. Krispy Kreme's Craving Cheesecake Collection is here, featuring 3 new flavors: Strawberry Dream, Cookies and Cream, and Caramel Delight. The new cheesecake collection at Krispy Kreme is only available for a limited time. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
We're starting with that live look, of course, from downtown Pittsburgh. We got that sunrise this morning. Even with the clouds, it's looked pretty nice as the sun's come up and given us some pretty views out there as well. MoDOT camera 20th and range lines looking back to the roughly northwest, west-northwest out there. Also looks pretty good, but you can see that cloud cover. We do have mostly cloudy skies this morning. We have these lingering showers. Anderson, Coffee County starting to sneak into Lynn County, and that's really about it. We did have a few additional showers, even some thunderstorms this morning, but those have fizzled out. And those showers, while they're not as impressive, they just haven't quite given up yet this morning yet either. But nothing severe expected from any of this activity. As we out onto the future track, again, we're just looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies. An isolated pop-up shower or storm will be possible anywhere in the area, but I think the majority of us will be dry. And then late tonight into the overnight hours, we could get a few scattered storms, especially in our western counties, with a low risk for perhaps some small hail out there and some gusty winds off in our western counties. We could get a stray storm or two outside of that zone, but we're not looking again at anything significant in terms of strong or severe storms as we head into the overnight hours tonight. 61 in Joplin, 61 in Pittsburgh as well, and across the area we've been spending our morning into the upper 50s and low 60s, so a bit above average out there. But otherwise, a pretty nice start to the day. If you need to get gas or something that you don't want to do out in the cold, good time to do it this morning. Kids getting on the bus. Again, our northern counties, maybe a stray shower or storm into the upper 50s. Southeast winds 5 to 10. And when that bus brings them home, the wind's still the same. A mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies and around 79 by this afternoon. That's a quick check of your forecast. We'll have another full look at your forecast. We're going to talk about our storm chances that continue into next week. And unfortunately, it does include a severe threat next week. We'll go over those details with you as well. And of course, we'll celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. But first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, our revealing conversation with Tina Knowles. She's sharing her story in a new memoir. Plus, we have a very powerful note to self from a Holocaust survivor. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays in the 4 states, and we are going to start in Mound Valley with Maverick Allen Thompson celebrating birthday number 4, and a popsicle, not a bad idea with the warm weather we've been having. It says, love you from Mimi and Papa.
And in St. Paul, a happy 6th birthday to Aniston King. It says, happy birthday, love Grandma Judy and Papa Jim.
And in Webb City, Elizabeth Sherrill celebrating birthday number 16 today. Happy birthday.
And a happy 70th birthday to Sandra Earl in Jasper.
And in LaFontaine, Kansas, we have William and Christine Preset celebrating their 25th year of wedded bliss. Very happy anniversary to you.
And a happy birthday to Linda Decker in Pittsburgh. It says here, happy birthday from the Crestline Girls.
And another Linda, this is Linda Parsons celebrating another year wiser in Scammon. Happy birthday.
And continuing our list with Zane Adams celebrating birthday number 18 today in Galena. It says happy birthday from your mom.
And we've got Donnie Humble in Girard celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday.
And in Columbus, a happy birthday to Warren Dooley.
All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, Elise has some information for you.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and those anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen, and to also please include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Absolutely want to make sure you include that information because it is very important information. All right, let's hop on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. So again, all we really have out there are these showers that just don't want to fizzle out completely, but as you can see, they're not overly impressive either, stretching back into Anderson and Coffee counties and far northwestern Lynn County out there. That's all we've got. Now, again, earlier this morning, we did have some showers and storms, and if this will reset for me and do it just right, there we go. You can see some of those storms that tried to get going this morning, but they fizzled out. They rolled up toward KC and died out, and these ones coming into our northern counties pretty much doing the same thing. Now, as we head into the overnight hours tonight, we do have some strong storms possible, and that's going to be, again, mainly in our western counties. Primary concerns here are going to be some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds. The future track looks about like this. We're looking at a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies across the region. Could get an isolated pop-up shower or storm here or there, but I do believe the majority of us will be dry. It'll be later this evening. We'll start to see some showers and thunderstorms in our northwestern counties, and that low severe risk is right through here. So Fredonia, Chanute, up toward Yates Center, and that's where these thunderstorms are. Here we are at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. We got those scattered storms continuing to push through, and a couple of those could be strong, low-grade severe. So we'll keep an eye on it for you, but the good news is, at least at this point, not expecting anything significant. Could get a stray shower or storm outside of that zone overnight, but again, the majority of us outside of that area will be dry. But that will change as we head into Thursday afternoon. We'll start to see clouds increasing again, and we'll start to see shower and thunderstorm chances increasing again. So here we are at 3 o'clock. So Yates Center, another round of storms, but this one's going to be tracking east-southeast across the area. We could have other scattered storms around this complex as it rolls through. And some good news with this, too, are we do not have really any severe threat for Thursday. So I know on the future track yesterday and even this morning, it looks impressive. It looks a little scary. It's got a lot of red in it, but not expecting severe weather at this point. We go into our Friday, a few isolated random showers, a couple of scattered storms will be possible. Again, the majority of us will ultimately be dry. That'll be really the case from Saturday into Sunday as well. So here's our low risk for overnight tonight in our western counties. For Thursday, just again, barely clipping our western counties, but this time on the southwest side. And again, those scattered storms Friday, the only severe risk is the low risk that's barely clipping southwestern Washington County. At sunrise, again, looks beautiful with the clouds out there. It's a nice start to the day. A few isolated scattered shower storms, again, especially in our northern counties where that activity just doesn't want to die out yet. And then we'll otherwise have mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies going into low 70s by 11 o'clock this morning. Upper 70s, low 80s for our highs today. And as we head into tonight, we will continue at the mild weather, upper 50s, low 60s out there, and again, some of those storms to our west. Through the weekend, again, a few isolated, widely scattered showers Saturday and Sunday. And then we go into Monday, and really it's going to be, we could see a few lingering storms Monday morning, but our bigger concern is going to be later in the evening Monday with more thunderstorms that begin to develop. Now, initially, these guys don't really move much out there, but we could have some strong to severe thunderstorms with that activity, and then we'll get redevelopment by late Tuesday morning into the afternoon, and that activity through the afternoon and evening could also be strong to severe, and it won't really begin to roll out of our area until early Wednesday morning. So here's our severe risk for Monday. It was a little further west yesterday. It's been extended. It now encompasses a good portion of the area for, again, Monday night into Tuesday morning. And then that risk, now we have it also for Tuesday as that risk shifts east into the eastern half of our area. So we want to keep a very close eye on that severe threat heading into the weekend. We'll have another look at your forecast here in just a moment, as well as the news you need to know. And if you switch over to Fox 14 with us at 7 a.m. or stay right here on KOAM Plus, we're going to tell you about an Arizona family that's honoring the dog that brought back their toddler 7 miles through Arizona country.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Lamar, Missouri community is working to pick up the pieces after a tornado swept through on Easter Sunday. The city administrator of Lamar says some of the main issues are damage to homes and downed power poles. He also says volunteers are coming together to help the community with cleanup. The National Weather Service also confirmed a tornado in Jasper County this weekend. The NWS says the EF1 tornado touched down just north of Galena, causing damage to multiple trees and roofs before crossing the Missouri border west of Belleville, where it continued through Carl Junction before lifting near the intersection of County Road 210 and H Highway. Well, plans are underway for the development of affordable housing at the Old Freeman Hospital in Joplin. Now, this comes after the City Council approved the demolition of the building. The new housing will be designed for veterans and seniors. City staff they don't have any timeline for when the demolition will begin, but they plan to begin meeting with contractors soon. Let's check up today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
I think about the only reason you skipped on that line is I almost fell over just standing here. That might be distracting. I don't even know how. All right, today, upper 70s, some low 80s, partly to mostly cloudy skies, maybe an isolated pop-up shower or storm. Most of us will be dry. That'll be the case through the evening, but then overnight in our western counties, could get some scattered storms, some strong low-grade severe storms, hail, wind being the primary concern are possible, and we could get a stray storm outside of that area, but that's where the better chances are, and we'll fall back into the upper 50s, even some low 60s, so another mild start tomorrow. Scattered storms throughout the day Thursday, not expecting anything severe at this point. That continues into Friday. More storms Saturday, Sunday, but we are watching that severe threat as we head into next Monday and Tuesday and early Wednesday, so something to keep an eye on.
Yes. And coming up today at noon, we're making strawberry rhubarb cobbler in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
You can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Stephanie Potter and Tara Fairchild from the Mosaic in Southeast Kansas join us in the studio with an invitation to a luncheon.
Plus, Carrie Lance also join us in the studio for another Wildcat Wednesday. However, that is going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.